The Family Kitchen, the perfect recipe of love and food.
Welcome to The Family Kitchen Season 2. My name is Yachna and this is The Family Kitchen Season 2. The perfect recipe of love and food. Powered by Pillsbury Gold Atta in association with Goody and Noor Oil.
Hi, I'm Ray and this is Darling.
Hi, I'm Daryl and the whole family calls me Darling because my wife, who is also Rena's sister, calls me Darling, and that just got on to everyone, and now everyone calls me Darling. Darling.
Yeah, they've just been married a couple of months, but I feel like I've known him a very long time. It's probably because he doesn't leave.
So yeah, I've been seeing Ria for 3 years now, and in the course of 3 years, we've been trying to cook for each other, cook each other. So did I say cooking? No, I mean she just cooks my brain so much so that.
So both of them are here and today both of them are going to cook one dish each.
I'm cooking prawns curry today, which is one of Rena's favorite dishes.
And I will be making my famous chocolate mousse for Daryl because he and everybody else loves it.
Yeah, so right now there's a competition between Ria and Rena's to see who cooks the best mousse, and guess who's judge? Me.
Guess who's winning? Me.
Who's going to cook first?
Me? I'm going to start.
Ladies first.
So there are a few ingredients that we require to make a prawn curry. It's very simple.
Okay.
Most people have it in their house already, except for the prawns. You need fresh, nice prawns. You'll need 3 cut chilies, 7 Kashmiri chilies,
Okay.
1 tablespoon of jeera, 1 tablespoon of coriander powder,
Okay.
a small ball of tamarind or imli, as we very popularly call it, 3 garlic pods,
Okay.
and 5 to 6 cups of grated coconut.
Okay.
And finally, there's one last thing that we need, which is a secret ingredient which most of us Indians love. That is going to be chopped onions. So we need to start with the Kashmiri chilies. We need 7 Kashmiri chilies in total. So first things first, we need to break off the head of the Kashmiri chilies.
Okay.
So now that we've broken the heads of our Kashmiri chilies, after that, all the ingredients, we just need to put them in the mixer. So there's no special, you don't need any containers or anything like that. Just go straight away, 1 tablespoon of coriander powder. Be a little bit generous with it.
Is he
So-
generous though?
You'll have to ask my sister.
After that, we'll need 1 teaspoon of jeera. Put that in.
Okay.
And the next thing that we need is imli or tamarind. 1 ball as big as this is good enough. We have that, put that in there. Then we will need 3 garlic pods. So 1, 2, and
3.
after that, we'll need grated coconut.
Uh-huh.
And once all of this is in here, we need to blend it.
Okay.
This is the fun part because it makes so much of sound. Hope I put this blender properly. So now that we made a paste out of this, the next thing that we need to do is we need to throw in our red chilies. So all 7 of them, I'm going to put all 7 of them in there.
Okay.
And we also need to put 1 cup of water. Right, so I have my 1 cup over here. 1 cup, which should be around 400 ml, 300 ml. Start off with a little less water because you don't want it to be very thick, neither do you want it to be very thin. So pour in the water, grind the mix again, and check the consistency. It should not be too thick, it should not be too thin, as I said before. Yeah. This is good now. So moving on, let's pour our mix into the vessel over here.
Okay.
All of it.
So do we have to heat the pan first? No.
No, not necessary.
Okay.
We can just go on, pour that in, and then start boiling it. Yeah,
Good.
it's lit. So now the next thing that we need to do is just make sure that we have our chilies ready. So just 3 green chilies is fine.
Okay.
2.
No, 3. Come on. I mean, I know you can't bear any spice at all, but we need 3 chilies, so we'll keep that aside for you when you're not eating it.
Okay.
All right.
So the one dish that Daryl made that I didn't like, the sriracha salad, it was god awful, and also I don't like spicy food, so that was terrible.
Yeah, that's the only reason why she didn't like it, because it was spicy. You remember the time when we traveled and we went for hot pot, and
Oh my god!
she literally like touched the soup to the tip of her tongue and she was jumping. She just can't handle
I was
spice.
sweating, my face was red, my ears were burning. It was just torture.
I love spice. I loved it. I loved it.
It was torture.
But it was almost like I had a bath by the end of the meal because it was so spicy. I was sweating so much. But I loved it.
That's what everybody wants to know.
Let's take a short break and we'll be back and see how the recipe flows.
The Family Kitchen, the perfect recipe of love and food. The Family Kitchen, the perfect recipe of love and food.
Welcome back everyone to the Family Kitchen Season 2, the perfect recipe of love and food, powered by Pillsbury Gold Atta, in association with Goody and Nuroy.
So the next thing that we need to do is we need to add 1 cup of water.
Okay,
So
do you want me to help
yeah,
you?
sure, thank you.
So tell me how much?
250 ml should be fine for now.
Okay.
And then in case it's still not, thin enough, we'll add some more.
Okay.
Okay, now that we have our gravy boiling, let's pour in the water. I think this should be enough for now.
Okay. I have a question for you, Ray.
Yeah.
Like, have you seen him cooking the same recipe?
I've seen
at
him
home?
cook.
Yeah?
Yeah. and
This
he-
recipe particularly?
Not this particular recipe, but I've watched him cook before.
Okay.
And I'm surprised he's only using these many dishes today because normally he uses every clean dish in the house while cooking.
So it's a mess after he's done.
It's a mess before and after, yeah.
Well,
But he does clean up. I'll give him that. He does clean
Oh.
up.
Well, if you don't make a mess, it's not tasty food. So,
There you go.
so, yeah. Anyway, so now what we need to do is we need to give our gravy a little stir.
Okay.
Make sure everything is nicely blended in with the water.
And it's
Yeah.
smelling great.
It is.
Yeah, so give it a nice stir. 4-5 stirs is good enough. And then we need to add our main ingredient.
Yay.
So right now I have a bowl full of prawns.
Uh-huh.
I'm just going to put all of them in there. This is around 500 grams of prawns. Whatever water that comes out of the prawns, don't throw it out. Make sure that it goes with our gravy.
Like
because-
after they kept after
yeah,
washing.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Because that's what adds to all the flavor.
Oh, okay.
Once that is in there, we need to make sure that it is all well mixed up. Everything is well spread out. And once it's all mixed up, we will just let it boil for some time.
So do you cook often or is it on special occasions? Who's gonna answer?
my guests need to be really, really special, and otherwise I don't cook for
Ray?
anybody.
I'm
Okay,
very
take the
special.
credit.
Now I am.
I'm
I-
cooking for her? Oh, I didn't know that. So, yeah, so now we need to just wait for around 10 minutes.
Okay.
Let our prawns cook, and then we can give it a shot, make sure that the prawns are cooked, because you don't want to eat uncooked prawns. It's not good for the next day. So,
So are you fussy about the recipe because it's special to you, because it was given to you by your mom,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Or are you let's go with the flow, it changes? No.
no, it was given to by my mom, so it is a special recipe. Actually, not it's special for me, yes.
Yes.
But most people that she has made this dish for, everyone loves it.
Okay.
So, and it's so easy to cook. Even people who don't really know how to cook well can make it. That's how I
There you
learned
go.
it. This was one of the first dishes that I learned to cook. So we just need to make sure that our prawns are cooked. And the way you do that is the prawns need to be a light shade of orange.
Okay.
So we check that. Yeah, most of them are light shade of orange.
Okay.
Then we quickly add some onions in there. Throw in our chopped chilies. Let that cook for around 2 to 5 minutes.
Okay.
And in
we
the
have to wait.
meantime, we wait.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait.
We give it a quick stir, and
And I have to tell
we
you,
need
it's
to
smelling
make
great.
sure our gas is off. Safety
Yes.
first, everyone. And that's
Okay.
it. Prawns curry is best served with white rice and some onion and tomato
Tomatoes.
salad.
Uh-huh.
So, can I serve you some?
Please.
Yes, please.
Great. Please go for it.
The magic.
Shall I serve you some salad?
Please go
There
ahead.
you go. Let's put some out, and then I think we all just dig in.
I think, Ray, you should do the honors.
Is it for me?
Yes.
All right.
See, that's what we are saying. Okay, you have to be honest
Okay.
when you taste it. That is it as good as
I
each
mean,
time?
I'm taking the biggest morsel, so let's have a go.
Okay.
My first bite was, wow, this is phenomenal. My second bite was, whoa, it's a bit spicy. And then I went back to phenomenal, and back to spicy, but I still ate a lot of it.
My God.
Really good,
Yeah.
isn't it?
So we do need few minutes to savor this, right? And I have to say, Daryl, well done.
Thank you.
Love spicy prawn curry, and this is right up my alley.
Thank you.
Let's take a short break and we'll be back and we'll get to know what Ray has in store for us. It's a dessert called chocolate mousse.
The Family Kitchen, the perfect recipe of love and food. The Family Kitchen, the perfect recipe of love and food.
Welcome back, guys. You're watching The Family Kitchen Season 2. The perfect recipe of love and food, powered by Pillsbury Gold Atta in association with Goody and Noor Oil. And now it is time for round 2.
Yep.
Are we ready?
It's not a meal if you don't have dessert.
Absolutely. वो खाना ही क्या जिसके बाद मीठा ना हो पाए. So let's switch.
Switch.
Ladies first.
Oh.
It's okay.
Okay. So you have to take us through what are we going to do?
Okay, so today we're going to make chocolate mousse, which is one of my favorite things to make and also one of my favorite things to eat. So I'm just going to run through the ingredients. We need some eggs, sugar, water, vanilla essence, coffee, and cream. And then we're just going to throw it all together and make magic. So the first thing we're going to do is start with the eggs. We're going to take the 5 eggs and separate the yolks and whites. You guys talk whilst they do this. It's a bit of a
Yes.
messy affair.
It is. And I think health conscious people are doing that every morning.
Yeah, I'm not.
Separate. Okay.
I love adding everything to
In
my
it.
food.
Yeah, yeah.
As much as there I can find ingredients, I'll put it in.
So
Okay.
the next thing we're going to do is add 8 tablespoons of sugar
Okay.
to the egg yolk.
Sugar is very healthy.
Very.
I mean, it's dessert. If it's not,
If it's not sweet, then
Exactly.
it's not a dessert. So do you like your desserts to be super sweet or no?
no, I don't actually. And you'll see why in just a second. The next thing we're going to do, blend these until
Okay.
they're like creamy
Uh-huh.
and that the sugar's kind of melted inside.
Okay.
So I'm just going to give that a blend for a good 2 minutes. So now you can see that's got a nice creamy texture.
Absolutely.
The next thing we're going to do is prep the chocolate. Of course, it's the most important ingredient for chocolate mousse.
In case people were guessing where the chocolate is.
I'm just going to blitz it in the microwave for a couple of seconds.
Okay.
And we have some gorgeous, just smell that, gorgeous melted dark chocolate. Now, I always recommend using dark chocolate for desserts because it just enhances the flavor of everything. It just elevates it so much more.
Okay.
So the next thing we're going to do is take a cup and put 4 teaspoons of coffee. Instant coffee is good, or just any coffee that you have.
Okay.
And then we're doing 4 teaspoons of coffee and 4 tablespoons of water.
Okay.
And then we're going to mix it up. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Has it ever happened that you're preparing chocolate mousse and then you're tasting a little bit of chocolate while baking?
Of course. So I highly recommend you always taste as you go when you cook,
Absolutely.
except for raw things. So
Yeah.
like you maybe don't have.
No, but you can if you want
Of course
raw
you
egg.
can, but I don't recommend it.
You can maybe tell someone that it's mango puree.
Yeah.
Or Shrikhand.
That'll be a good prank.
Yeah.
So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the chocolate mixture
Okay.
and then just slowly mix it in to this mixture that we have ready over here. So this I just taken melted chocolate and we're going to slowly mix it together. Now everything in this recipe you have to slowly bring together. You can't just stir things crazy because otherwise you'll get like a very dense chocolate mousse,
Okay.
and the aim is to have like a light and airy chocolate mousse,
Oh.
right?
That's a good tip.
Yeah. So you see, I'm not like just going crazy and stirring it or beating it. So I'm just slowly folding it together. And you can see those beautiful colors come together. You can smell it.
So basically you have to be in a good mood when you bake this.
Oh my God.
If you're angry, you're going to whip it.
No, you don't want to be doing that.
Okay.
And I always think you have to be in a good mood when you're cooking all together because otherwise it's not going to taste great.
Absolutely.
That whole love is the secret ingredient is not a lie.
Also, I think
Alright.
when you're baking, especially, it does make your, it's vice versa, like it makes you
Oh,
also feel
completely.
good, right?
Baking is all about energy, right?
Yeah.
So if you don't have good energy, your baking's not going to turn out great.
Wow.
So what
and
I'm going to do now is I'm going to add the coffee mix to this
Okay.
and put that
Smells so
together. You want to do this relatively quickly. So we're
Okay.
doing like small circles, so it's not making too much of a mess.
That's my department. Making a mess while cooking, that's my department.
You're good at it.
I would agree. It's like you've been home.
Yeah. Wow.
Can you smell that?
I
So
can.
coffee always elevates the taste of dark chocolate. So if you ever have any dessert, I always would recommend you put a bit of coffee with the dark chocolate.
So you can make the same recipe with milk chocolate as well, or only dark chocolate?
You could, but then you would just add less sugar
Okay.
so that otherwise it becomes far, far too sweet. Unless you like really sweet things, then
No.
absolutely. So the next thing I'm going to do is put 2 tablespoons of vanilla essence. You can swap this out for like a hazelnut syrup or any flavor that you like.
Okay.
Vanilla is always great. So that's 1,
How many?
2. We're just going to do 2.
Okay.
Okay, so this has come together as you can see. So we've just got a nice silky chocolate mix. And the next thing we're going to do is beat the cream.
Okay.
So we're just going to take 1 regular sized tin of cream
Okay.
and just throw it in. That's full of yummy, fatty goodness.
All the yumminess.
Yeah, absolutely. And now we're just going to beat this together so the cream gets nice and thick.
Okay.
So now that the cream is thick, what we're going to do is fold it into this mixture.
Okay.
So this is generally the part where I would have whoever's in the house with me, normally Daryl or Rhea, coming to lick the spoons, lick the, just everyone likes to just lick the bowls basically.
Absolutely. I wish I could do that. Well, this is, like Daryl's recipe is by his mom, right?
Yes.
So this one is from,
Me, yeah. The real story of how I learned to make the chocolate mousse is when I was getting out of school, my mum thought that I needed to get married, so I should learn how to cook. And I always loved cooking, but she was like, you need to go for proper classes. So I went to a class and the lady basically had a chocolate mousse recipe. So I came home and I tried it and it was dreadful. So, but I loved chocolate mousse. So I was like, I'm gonna learn how to fix this. And so I made it like over and over and over again until eventually I made my own recipe. So I guess the base was from this cooking class, but it's now my recipe that we finally got to. Once we've got that chocolatey goodness ready, the next thing, you remember when we'd separated the egg whites? So
Yeah.
now we're just gonna whip them
Okay.
until we can get stiff peaks.
okay.
Right?
It looks like lassi now. Pour that for someone in a glass.
Now if we put the Shrikhand and Lassi into
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
that'll become a new dish for
Yeah.
sure.
So the way that we know if it's done is that
Yeah.
when you lift it up, you got little stiff peaks like that.
Okay.
So now this is more or less done. What we're
Okay.
going to do is fold this in. Again, a very tedious job. You need a lot of forearm strength.
So like slow oh, slowly.
So we're just going to do,
You're not just gonna,
no, we don't ever just pour it in. We're just going to put these in and we're slowly going to fold it in bit by bit.
okay. Why so?
So that basically at this point, because you can see how light and airy that is, this is what gives the mousse its lightness
fluffy
and
texture.
airiness, exactly. So of course, this is something that's more to taste, where if you want a dense mousse, then you would stir it in hard.
Oh, okay.
But if you want something light and fluffy that's not too heavy, because it's quite a decadent dessert, right? So you
Absolutely.
want it to be, you don't want everyone just having too much of it, so
Yeah.
you want to just get it light and airy.
I love too much of it.
But like if you were putting this in cake, you wouldn't maybe make it this light.
Ah.
So we just keep folding it in and adding more. But you see how that just slices off, and that's
Yeah.
how your eggs need to be beaten.
Wow.
Then you just slowly fold it in bit by bit.
It's amazing.
It's
Egg whites just become,
tedious.
after blending, like look like cream.
Yeah. Now, when you tasted it, if you thought it was too bitter, because sometimes coffee and chocolate could be a bit tad too much for some people, at this point you could add more sugar in there.
Okay.
But I prefer not to. I think it's good by itself.
Yeah, it was actually. So you're
Thank
more
you.
into baking than cooking? Daryl mentioned that earlier, so I'm asking.
I do love cooking, but I prefer baking. I think that's my forte. That's what people want to eat when I cook / get in the kitchen, basically. So we're going to use as much of this as we can.
Okay.
I think we just did the last bits.
Okay.
Get all of that in there. The last fold together. Now, in general, you want to do this the night before
Okay.
because it takes about 4 to 6 hours in the fridge.
Okay.
So you're better off just getting it done the night before. It takes only 20 minutes to make.
Yeah.
And then the next day.
But then it
just
tastes
rinse.
better if you keep it for 5,
It
6 hours.
tastes better once you've kept it in the fridge for a while.
Okay.
So we're going to be here for 4 to 6 hours. It's a marathon show,
Yes.
guys.
And we are not going home until we get a bite.
Yeah.
It's all right. There's still some prawn curry left. We have things to do. So you just want to make sure that there are no bubbles,
And okay, no lumpy texture.
no lumps, no little white bits, no little dark bits. It needs to be all uniform. So you see how that comes together?
Yeah, and the color has changed a bit.
Exactly. So now it's become lighter.
Yeah.
And you can see how that's like, you can see
The
the air in
consistency,
there,
yes.
right? Okay, so now that we've got this ready,
Okay.
it's all been whipped.
Okay.
One thing I would recommend is never bang your spoon against it because that lets the air out again. That's not what you want.
Because it's not chicken curry.
Top tips. So then we're just gonna slowly pour it in to bowls to set.
Okay.
Just slowly. So you just gently wiggle it around and then we just put it in the fridge for about 4 to 6 hours.
Okay.
Now that it's been 4 to 6 hours, actually 5.5 if we're being exact, this is what the chocolate mousse looks like. If you turn it upside down, it won't fall out.
Okay.
So that's how you know it's ready to go. And now you can decorate this any way you want. You can put whipped cream, some fruits. I prefer to just go in straight with dark chocolate, do a bit of dark chocolate shavings.
Okay.
Thank you. And so I think, you just do this and you throw it on top, and I like to make a
nice.
mess, but it also looks beautiful.
Now she's your partner in crime and
Yeah.
making the place messy. And guys, if you really end up trying out any of these 2 recipes, prawn curry or the chocolate mousse, don't forget to tag us, Colors TV ME. And you got to watch it on The Family Kitchen. So tag us too.
Right, so I think now's a good time to taste. There's 3, that's 1 for each of us.
Okay.
Here you
Thank
go.
you.
Yes.
Cheers, cheers, cheers.
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 Bon appetit.
Very nice. Oh, the chocolate mousse is amazing. It's been a while that I've tasted the chocolate mousse, but it's still the same. It was like the first time I had it, and it still blows my mind.
Mind blasting.
Mind blasting, yeah.
It won't be dramatic if I have to do because it is so yum.
That's good, isn't it?
It's
I just
amazing.
keep going. I don't do
Not
anything.
to toot my own horn, but that's really good.
It's time for curtains to close. And don't worry, the journey shall continue. There will be many more episodes where many more people are going to come and share their recipes, the love, the bonding, and many more stories.